Planning Commission, Planning Consultant report today. Next up, public comment.
Okay, these definitions that are on this survey, number 22 and number 3, I have never seen such definitions like Mr. Roof said. I respect what you said, Gary. I do understand that there was not any salvage yard definitions in this township that could be found ever. So whoever came up with this, real magician. Might as well call him Houdini. The junkyard, if you were to look at the junkyard definition that you were talking in the 70s and the 80s, that's when my grandparents zoned our property. And I think that you even referenced that to me in the parking lot when we had a talk, that you did find that my grandfather and the salvage yard next to us had zoned the properties in 1984. They'd been in business since the 50s, both of them. I have all of that information that I'd love to share with people, but I don't really feel that when there's publications of that in the Bay County Democrat or Bay City Democrat that it needs to be said anymore. I mean, Charlie, you said Patrick's property, same thing. There used to be mobile homes on that thing. That was in a definition. That was in the definition, the same one of Dockett's. That was in the same one of Eddy Brothers. They had to be zoned C3. I had a talk with Shirley about Patrick, your aunt's property, just yesterday. How her property was C3, and they put their property into a trust. They warranted, on a warranty deed, the zoning and the ordinances. Your aunt is very frustrated. She's an older woman who didn't understand things, but she's seen the stuff my family was going through and seen that. So I put in a FOIA for her. Now, it's the same thing as what your property is. You don't know how your property in Linwood on Cottage Grove got turned to industrial. We don't know how ours did, but my family turned it to C3. This township did this during a master plan. Now, I'm going to let you all know, audience, planning board, there's a website out there now that's called callcollintownship.com. And it's going to be very truthful to what goes on in a master plan, how it changed properties, even the property that Mr. Davidson sold on Mackinac Road. That was actually country homes, all the way from Beaver Road to Chip Road. Then it got turned into agricultural. Then it got turned into a pot shop, right in the middle of houses. I feel bad for these people, because the truth was on a flash drive that a citizen FOIA'd and gave to me a copy. And I'm sorry, but when the township knows what it was and its identity, and they change it without telling the citizens, there's a lot of elderly, older women that are widowed that had to go through a living hell. And my mom's one of them. My mother-in-law is one. Your aunt's one. And I know your aunt loves you. She's spoken highly of you. But we should look out for those. That's our community. Those are our patriarchs. Those are the ones who made things the way they should be. And that should stand for something. We need to bring moral character back into this township.
Anyone else?
So it very much seems on my end that those questions are very targeted for Eddy. It seems like it's meant to be that if things don't go the way he's hoping, it's going to help kind of push him down even harder. And that's my worries here. It seems like if you come here and voice your opinion, and it's not the opinion of the people on the board or the people that are making big decisions in this township, that there's retaliation. And eventually I feel like that's going to happen to us. And it might not be you guys on this board, but these boards talk. You know, us citizens, you may think we're all dumb. Well, we're not, you know. So just do what's right. You guys stood there and said the pledge under God. We all serve the same master. And one day you're going to confront that guy, and I hope your heart is true. So,
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, addressing us also is also to bring up spot zoning, you know? I mean, all of a sudden a C1 comes in where it's, what is the size of that property? I know this isn't a question and answer, but I think it's less than an acre, at maybe less than a half an acre even, and now we're gonna use the whole entire area, double the size of my house almost, because it's gonna be on above the ground. And I don't know, but all nine of my windows that face that side are my bedroom, my living room, my dining room, my kitchen, everything faces the side. And they're gonna be putting up a nice big fence there to cut me all off from a beautiful view, which I'm sure that somebody brought that up one time about a house being in the way of the view of the bay. And it was stopped. And you know what? It is in the way of the view of my bay, of what I see. So you guys need to come out there and check that, because that's my next thing I'm coming at you with, because it is blocking my view. And I think that's going to pose a big problem. And if I owned one of those big, beautiful $500,000 homes, I bet I wouldn't even be standing here right now. But because mine, as one gentleman likes to call them dinosaur-like homes, mine is one of those. It's less than $250,000 probably to all of you, but the two together make up quite a good chunk of change that I own. But because it's not one big two-story standing gorgeous home, I'm not able to stop this. I guarantee you, if I was a big homeowner of one of those homes on the bay, this would never walk into this township. Ever. Never.
Hi, I'm Dave Stockmeyer, 61 Harborview Point. I live in the condo complex at the end of the road there, over the bridge. I'm also the president of our homeowners association for about the last 3 years. I'm speaking today for myself, though. I would never speak for our residents. They all have their own voice, but obviously we have a lot of discussions internally. First, I do want to thank you guys, start with a positive, for at least having the foresight to address structure and address a more formalized meeting procedure, because that has been, as I've been coming to these for the past year or two, I shake my head constantly on how many things get thrown in last minute and sometimes lead to poor, I won't even say poor decisions, it's not necessarily you guys, any place where you get stuff last minute, you can't do your homework. So I appreciate you looking into that and trying to correct that. I do have a slight concern on the cabin project that will affect all of our residents if it proceeds. I've seen some plans, I don't know if they're final, they look very incomplete, but what I've seen shows a sewer line going under our parking lot, which I know is Caucalan responsibility. We're responsible for the sewers under our homes and the first line out, and then it becomes Caucalan and Bay County's responsibility. I think if this group decides to allow them to take that convenient measure, which will inconvenience 23 taxpaying citizens, 23 homes, with, you know, we're not high end either, but combined we're 5.8 to 6.1 million, depending on who you look at, just to save them some money for not doing it another way and taking it right out to Linwood Road or something, I think that's a very questionable decision. Okay, and I know that, I think the first step, and that's with you. I don't know if those are final plans I've seen or not. Obviously, I know there's a public hearing on the 14th, but I wanted to plant that seed before the meeting, so you had some time to think about that, because I do know that if there's no way to do that without crippling our parking lot, crippling our bridge access, and making it very inconvenient to our people. So I think if we decide to put transient residents that are coming in for weekends rights ahead of these residents and how much inconvenience that is, I think that's a problem. I've tried to stay very neutral on this project. I have some personal feelings that are against it, but I've tried to stay neutral in my role as condo president, because I don't want to lead our residents either way. But I feel really strongly about that sewer issue, and I'm very sure our residents will as well. Thank you.
I'm not, Joel Corey, 910 Parish Brook. I'm shocked you guys are printing and handing out pamphlets. I've been out of work away from work for 10 years now, and back then it was like, what are you doing printing? That paper costs money. Wouldn't it be easier to, if you're already printing all this stuff, just PDF it and boom, it's gone to the, again, I'm like I said, 10 years ago, I was, yeah, you know, that would be easier. Sorry, I'll let you.
Thank you.
I thought about cornering you afterwards, and I thought, well, just PDF it.
Any additional public comment?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Am I allowed to stand up?
No.
No? Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, I can.
Mr. Penix can certainly express your.
No,
Yes,
I
this-
just, that's all right.
What?
No, I wanna be
I will, as I said earlier, if any emails that you have, Michelle, any emails that you have or concerns, if you email it to the planning commission, every one of us get a copy of it and we read it.
So I got an anonymous card, and I wanted to just give it to you. I'll send it in an email.
How about after the meeting, I'll come talk to you?
Oh,
okay?
wait a minute.
After the meeting, I'll come talk to you.
Wait a minute, no, I'll bring it up.
Yeah.
I can bring it up. You just have to give me 1 minute to find it. I know exactly what the comment's about. Please bear with me. Huh, maybe I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Looks like we have a blank space here. Just a minute.
Got it?
Yeah, I do have it. Because I received, hi, I'm Charles Campbell. Just like the soup. I gotta turn this so I can, oh, there we go, now we go. Notice your 2 properties only have 1 homestead. Check this out. Oh, it's got a name here. Well, it says Stasek, and it says 901 South Linwood Beach is 100% PRE, and 276 West Sidler Road has a 100% PRE. And you can see it on my phone. I have no problem with you seeing that. Look on my phone. I received that as an anonymous message. And I saved it. I can send, if you want, you're welcome to forward that to the planning commission so that
Okay.
you have a copy of this.
And you obviously know whose these properties are.
Mhm.
It says up in the upper
Yep.
corner,
That's what it
right over there.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's nothing to do with this committee.
I'm just saying,
Okay.
that was something that,
That's at the state audits, I can tell it for what I do for a living, the state audits, when social security numbers or individuals have more than 1 primary residence, that, I saw many of people get flagged. There are ways that people can structure to get PREs, depending on who is also on title, but that's not here.
well, someone wanted to say that, and,
Okay. Anyone else for public comment? Okay. Next meeting is March 14th. Make a motion to adjourn at 7:55.
Second.
All in favor?
is.